Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Cynthia Linox Show. I am your host, Cynthia Linox, and I'm here to remind you that this is the best season of your life. Now, whether you're still contributing your skills and talents, expertise to the workforce, or if you have had the opportunity to refire your life from work and taking on a new hobby, a new career that you absolutely love, or even if you may have started a new business or set out to travel the world, whatever it is that you are engaged in now, make sure that you are consciously aware of everything that you do, that you are intentional, that you are laser focused on your life and all the activities surrounding you. You will see that it will become more meaningful and you will have greater fulfillment. You've got to be intentional, regardless of what situation you are in now. It doesn't matter. Whatever situation you're in now, be intentional. Remain laser focused, consciously aware of what's going on. Your critical thinking skills will kick in and you will have greater clarity and be able to make decisions that will be right for your situation. You always want to keep it positive and optimistic. So I encourage you to be mindful of that, mindful of those uh, uh, conscious, intentional habits. It has to be a habit. It's not just when you're faced with a situation, it's a daily living. It's a daily living. It's a daily experience that you the way you conduct your life. So I encourage you to be mindful of everything that you're doing so that you can make it meaningful and have greater fulfillment. So, anyway, this is a great season, not just because of our own lives, but because we're in the fall. We are in the fall and this whole holiday season is upon us. We just finished with Halloween and we're now taking on Thanksgiving, and then we have other holidays. We have Hanukkah, we have Christmas, we have a whole bunch of holidays that's going to be upon us. So it really puts us in a different mindset, in a different mood. For a lot of people that I know, this is their favorite season of the year and so forth. I like it because it's a little crisp and cold, and I love to see the trees turning colors and the leaves falling and all that. I enjoy all those little things. I would love to be in the snow right now, but that's a whole different story. In our household, we have a big divide here. My husband could spend his days on the beach, and I could spend my days in the snow or on the slopes or something to that effect. I like it cold, but anyway, so we kind of the beach usually wins out, so that's our thing. But Thanksgiving is upon us. Next week is Thanksgiving, and you are probably ready for Thanksgiving. Um, we have big plans for Thanksgiving, and I'm excited about that. I get excited about stuff that we're doing. And when we come back, then we'll share it with you and so forth, and pictures and all of that. But Thanksgiving, I think back because growing up, Thanksgiving is not part of my experience. In our culture, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Thursday, everybody goes to school, the stores are open, and it's life as usual. We had a taste of it because my dad was involved in the Panama Canal Zone, and with that influence, the Americans owned that whole culture, that territory, and because they were overseeing the Panama Canal, and so my dad always bring home a turkey. My mom would buy a ham, but the trimmings, the Thanksgiving trimmings that we have here now in the U.S. is not what we did back home. And we would have rice and beans, we would have some kind of vegetables, and then we would have salad, we have rolls and so forth. But it wasn't like sit around the table and eat together. It didn't happen that way because we all had different schedules. My dad was involved in his work. My mom was involved in my dad's business. And so my mom, because we didn't like the Mrs. Griffith, that was our help. We didn't like the way she cooked. So my mom will make sure that, well, let's put it this way. I didn't like her cooking. But so my mom would make sure that she did all the cooking. My mom could cook. She could make a pot talk. So anyway, we ate just like we ate every day, different schedules and so forth. It wasn't like sit around the table together. That was not my experience growing up. But here in the US, I have had experiences where I have sat at a table with 4 or 15 up to 20 at a Thanksgiving dinner. And the norm is, you bless the food. That's just tradition. You bless the food, and then everyone goes around. Imagine if there are 20 people. Everyone goes around giving thanks, saying, giving a little snippet of the reason they are thankful, why they are grateful, and so forth. And everyone, invariably, everyone always starts with, "I am grateful for my family." And it's funny because even if they are there by themselves, single person by themselves, or, with their family, relatives, and so forth, everybody always start with, "I am grateful for my family." That's just tradition. Now that we are sort of, we're in a different, my husband and I, we were in a different season, and we get a lot of invitations, and they're from different people. We get invitations where we go to. As a matter of fact, last year we were at a family, very special family to us, and they served and they sat and they ate. So we served, we sat, we ate, and it was great. We had great conversation around the table. One year we spent it at a family, and they blessed the food, and then they didn't do that Thanksgiving rotation thing. They didn't do that, so time went by a little more efficiently. But the more I think of it, we give thanks. It's easy to give thanks for two external influences. Like, it would be easy for me to give thanks for my husband, and to say that I am so grateful that he is a responsible man, uh, a loyal husband, someone that I can trust, someone that I can share with, someone whose company I enjoy, someone that's adventurous, someone that is just a great guy. I just like being with him. It's easy for me to say that. And I say that throughout the year. I would tell my husband, I said, you're an amazing man. You are, just in conversation. That's something that I would, hi, sweetheart, or whatever. It's just something that we do throughout the year. I don't just wait for Thanksgiving. But have you considered the thought of self-gratitude? Self-gratitude is acknowledging and appreciating your own worth. It is being mindful of your accomplishments and your personal growth. Think of that. To acknowledge and appreciate your worth, your own worth. Not too many people think of that. We talk a lot, or I talk a lot about journeying and to discover yourself. And when you come into that knowledge of self, it's something that stays with you. You discover your worth, your value. But when you discover that, it's something that you have to acknowledge, because it's real. It's your essence. It's acknowledging and appreciating your own worth. Thinking about your accomplishments, your achievements, your personal growth, and all of those things. Self-gratitude or self discovery is not just about loving yourself, it is about liking who you are and admiring your traits. Have you thought about that? It's not just loving yourself. That's important. Yeah, you have to love yourself, but most people stop at that. Oh, yes, I love myself. I have self love, and they associate self care with self love. It's liking who you are, it's being able to sit with yourself and enjoy that moment, and also admiring the traits, your own traits, your traits. And if I consider some of the things to give thankful for myself, well, let me just share it with you. If it were me, or as it is me, I am thankful for that I have the ability to exercise critical thinking skills, to make sound decisions. I make sound decisions. And when necessary, emotional intelligence kicks in, and I can assess a situation, and I know how to flow and where to transmit the energies. I am thankful that I am a loyal person. I am dependable. You can count on me. You can trust me. I'm a good friend. I am dependable. I'm responsible. I can make things happen, create things, put things together. I like my spirit of adventure. I like one of the things that I most admire about me is my positive thinking. I'm obsessed with that. I try to make everything positive experience. And I'm so optimistic. That is a trait that I am telling you, I admire that about me. When there's a situation, I remain calm and my critical thinking skills kicks in. We lately had a situation where we had to find some documents in the house. Well, we had to find some documents. My husband thought he gave it to me. I thought I gave it to him. And, we just didn't know where it is. And, we had to have it. I knew it was in the house. And because I knew it was in the house, you stay calm. And there's just something about me that makes me know that I know. And I just knew that I was the one to find it. So I just went looking odd places. And sure enough, I did. I just liked it about me. When I set myself, and I didn't get, agitated or flustered or anything. I just knew that if it's in the house, I'll find it. So the ability to remain calm and to set the tone, not get all altered or flustered, it really lends to a great blending in our household because we both stay calm and cool. Those are the traits that I admire about myself. I admire the fact that I take care of myself. When it comes to my health, I'm very proactive and I do the things that I can to self care. I am, I admire that about me. I admire my social skills, that I have charm and charisma. and my social skills, that I can be in any situation and get along with everyone. I admire the fact that I can identify energies in people and, flow accordingly, or, make situations good where people may be a little anxious or whatever. I admire that in me. Those are the examples, my friend, that I am sharing with you. And I'm going to invite you, I'm going to challenge you at your Thanksgiving table. Remember, self gratitude. Self gratitude is an acknowledgement, is the key to increase worth, increase self worth. We don't think about that. We simply don't think about that because of conditioning, because of programming. And we are programmed that if we talk too much about ourselves, it can be misconstrued as pride and arrogance. Well, you're going to learn, my friend, that the Cynthia Lennox show, that is really what we talk about, because that is what is missing the most. We have to learn to fill our cups up first. As a matter of fact, most people walk around with an empty cup or a half full cup. Let me tell you how it works. When your cup is full, when you have fed yourself with self love, liking who you are, and being able to admire the traits, your own traits, your essence, because you know your self worth. When you fill your cup up with that knowledge, that understanding, that awareness, that consciousness, intentionally knowing, seeing it, visualizing it full, when you go out and you see situations, you have clarity and you will react or act accordingly. You wouldn't have time, when you see someone engage in whatever, you will not be so quick to judge or be critical, because you don't know what that person's situation is. You can look at someone and you can admire them. You're not, when your cup is full, it overflows and you have more than enough to give out. You can compliment someone, you can admire them, you can, speak a good word, you can encourage them, you can, help them out, you can guide them, you can lead them, you can embrace them, you can comfort them, show compassion. Why? Because your cup is full. When your cup is not full, my friend, you're missing things of your own self-worth. It's either minimized or not there. Consciousness of your own self-worth, your own traits, liking yourself, loving yourself. So when you look at someone that's being successful or that's doing something great that you hope that you would be able to do, guess what happens? Jealousy and envy kicks in. That's how we call people haters. Haters will always find something wrong. They will always judge a person for something. They will always be critical. And that's why they're called haters. People that are jealous and people that are envious. You notice when something happens to you, or you may go on vacation and come back and you're excited and you want to share, and hoping that they will share your excitement. And what do people say? They say it must be nice, with a little sense of sarcasm, not knowing that you could do the same, just that maybe your priorities are totally different. Your priorities are different. My priority may be taking luxury vacations. And then you'll say, it must be nice. But yeah, you're right. It was nice. But if your cup is full, My friend, she took a 21-day cruise, her and her husband, and they went to Tahiti and all over those islands. And I said, you better send pictures, and she would send pictures, and just wonderful, just of the amazing little the resort, and it's all beautiful because it's very touristic and so forth. And it's like I was enjoying it with them, as she would forward the pictures as they took them. It was just amazing. And why was I able to enjoy it? Because my cup is full. We have our plans, we have our own thing going. My cup is full. So I've got enough to encourage, to motivate, to applaud, to celebrate that person. I can celebrate them because my cup is full. That is the reason why, my friend, self-gratitude is important. It is the key to increase self-worth. Self-gratitude. And I tell you, if you're not familiar with self-gratitude, or if you don't practice self-gratitude, you will always walk around with an empty cup or half full. Now, if somebody needs sympathy or empathy, you may have that in your cup, because it's easy, when somebody is down, or when somebody has had a loss, or something of that sort. It's easy for us to to extend condolences, or get well soon and so forth. It's easy because it's almost like we have a leverage there, a sort of advantage. But if it's something where we have to celebrate an accomplishment, sometimes it's just hard to put out. Why? Because we don't have it in our cups. Our cup is missing that self-worth, that trait, that admiration for yourself, your own achievements, your own accomplishments. Do you pay your bills on time? That's something to celebrate. That's something that's admirable. Do you get to work on time? That is something to celebrate. That is admirable. That is an admirable trait. Are you a person of your word? Of course you are. Celebrate that. Are you a loyal person? You are a good parent. You determine that. Don't let anybody tell you, you don't go by anyone's standards of parenting. Parents always question that. We always question, am I doing the right thing? You do the best you can. That makes you a good parent. It's not a matter of good or bad, right or wrong. You do the best you can based on what you know for your kids. That's why you can't tell anyone how to raise their kids, how to raise their children. You can't, because that's not you. Your perspectives are different, and you're entitled to that. You're entitled to your own mindset, your own rules, your own experiences, your own cultural experiences, programming, conditioning. No one can tell you how to raise your kids. So you are a good parent. See? Your cup has to be full. Your cup has to be full at all times. That's why self-gratitude shouldn't just happen at Thanksgiving. Self-gratitude should happen every day. I have a friend, she is, these steps, she makes sure she gets her 10,000 steps a day. I mean, it's funny. She'll get her steps. That's an accomplishment. That's an achievement. That's something to be admired. I mean, I walk, and I've got my steps watch, but I'm not. That's good. I'm good with what I accomplish, and I celebrate what I accomplish, because our goals are totally different. But regardless of what it is, self gratitude is just being grateful for who you are and for what you have. Now, we can get used to, or we may start with expressing self gratitude privately to ourselves in our alone time, in our quiet time, and we can journal it and so forth. But start practicing expressing self gratitude publicly, and you will see, eyebrows will be raised because it is not common, but it is a necessary function for your growth, for your personal growth. And so that you can identify and, embrace your self worth and know your value. Self gratitude. Not to me, I have never had a conversation with, let's put it this way. This is the first time, well, I can't say that because I've had it with my husband, but this is the first time I'm having this conversation with you about self gratitude. And I've chosen that, uh, this share with you because of the season, because we're now coming into Thanksgiving. And as I shared earlier, you'll see around the table, people will give thanks to external forces. I think work for this. I think, but to really see, the thing is, most people don't really think a lot of themselves. They always say, and I am nothing. I can't do it by myself. It's not me, and so forth. But in the meantime, you're getting up and you're going to work every day. You're coming home, you're putting food on the table, you're paying your mortgage, you're paying your car note, you're being responsible. You are doing the work. You are doing the work. That's who you are grateful for. You are doing the work, and the traits that you have that makes you so responsible. But one of the reasons I know people don't think in those terms is because of fear. People fear judgment and they fear punishment. And that is all associated with cultural conditioning and indoctrination. So you are afraid. So your cup remains half full or empty. Why? Because, you're afraid to take credit. You're afraid to take credit, but you're the one that I remember when I used to when I was in corporate America, and uh I live about anyway, used to live about 20 minutes from home, 15, 20 minutes. And we would have these snowstorms, and where I live is rolling hills. And when there's a snow and it turns into ice, well, when there's snow, the big trucks, they don't come through because where I live is totally residential. There's nothing commercial in my community. Nothing commercial, all residential. So the big trucks with the sand, they don't come in to the roads, to the houses, because they're not main streets. So the snow would ice up. It would ice. And my husband, he was always proactive. He would, on the driveway, he would make sure that there is, he puts salt and so forth. So it's easy to get on my driveway and get going. But once I was on the road, it was all ice. And I remember there was a time where I had I was a, operational manager, and I had a schedule that was like at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 Imagine 3:30. That's an ungodly hour to go to work, but I did. I mean, that was my schedule and so forth. And so I would have to leave my house like at 2 o'clock. Well, if it snowed, yeah, I would have to leave like at 2 because you want to allow enough time because I was one that I didn't like to get to work late. And I would drive on ice to get to work. Now that I look back, I thought that was crazy. In the meantime, other managers would call in that their street is blocked, they can't get out or whatever. But it just did not really, it did not occur to me that I could not show up. I could call in and not go, but that I didn't see it as an option. How admirable is that? How admirable is that? To me, that's admirable. I mean, some may say, well, you didn't use wisdom because this could have happened, that could have happened. But in my mind, when I leave my house, I know that I'm going to get to work. That was my, positive and optimistic mindset I've always had. So I knew that as I left my house that I would get to work on time. So I would leave. And that happened year after year after year. I would not call to say my street is blocked because if your street is blocked and you can't get out, you just can't get out. But I would, take different roads. And one time I had to go up a hill. Oh gosh. And I've had so many situations where there was a skier because, and my husband, he, at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's still at home. He trusted me, my driving skills and so on. So there was no issues with that. I didn't want him to get up to take me, and that just didn't happen. And I did that for many years. That's an admirable trait because I was committed. I was dependable. I'm a loyal employee. See? And I admire that about me. And those traits are mine. Those traits remain. They're mine. What are the traits that you admire about you? Pause, my friend, and think about it. And self-gratitude 100%. Be thankful to yourself. Admire yourself. Like being with yourself. Like who you are. See? Fill your cup up. Make sure your cup is full to the brim, hasta rebosando. And that means overflowing. Until it overflows. Because as a matter of fact, when it overflows, you look for opportunities. You look for, anytime I get an opportunity to encourage someone, I'm telling you, I laser focus. I got a text from someone yesterday, which was just touched my heart. This couple, they made a big decision and they relocated and having a great life and so forth, and just at that time thought this was their landing place to enjoy for the rest of their lives. And they did for a couple of years until now they decided, nah, we've had 2 years of this is great. Let's go someplace else. And they made a decision. It's just amazing, the internet. They were able to get on the internet and find a huge, beautiful home in another geographic location, another country, as a matter of fact, and they're going to move there. I thought that is amazing. When I read that text, I thought that is just bold and audacious. That is just fabulous. Definitely. I thought, good for you. What I admire is, if I had to say something about that couple, I would say, boy, they are something else. Fearless and intentional. They're fearless. They are fearless. And their lives will have meaning and they will have greater fulfillment. Why? Because they found their happy place where they are now, and then it came a point you could say that they're really consciously aware of who they are. They are consciously aware of who they are because they realize, you know what, this doesn't, and the whole thing is that they have not only the resources but the flexibility that they can do that. How admirable is that? To me, that's how I see it. That is admirable to the max. So I celebrate that. I celebrate them. My husband and I were talking about it last night, and we thought, boy, that is just, and then, they sent pictures of the new house. That to me is so orgasmic of joy, of pleasure to celebrate someone else's achievement, accomplishment. And I was able to encourage them to forge ahead. Do what you want. You owe no explanation to anyone. Just do what you want and enjoy your life. So I was able to celebrate, and we just really admire those traits in that couple. That's bold. That is absolutely bold. You can make your own decisions and you can change your mind as you will. Because what are you doing? You're living life on your own terms, unapologetically. And what that is they are in the best season of their lives. They have made it the best season of their wherever they are now, where they are, that's the best season. And where they're going, they're in the best season. Because that's what they have determined. They have been consciously aware. They have been intentional in making these decisions. So their lives is meaningful and they are experiencing great fulfillment from those decisions. Now, I hope they know that because that's how we see them. That's the impression we have of them. That's the admiration we have of them. I hope they see it that way, that they're bold and audacious and courageous to make those decisions. It's a deep story, but I don't have permission to share, publicly who they are. I wish I did, but right now I don't. So I'm just kind of capsulizing it. It's the whole idea of making decisions consciously aware, intentional decisions that is really enhancing your life and doing it with boldness and recognizing the traits. Because, to be over here and miles away, on the internet, look up, places, they're well traveled, so they know a lot of places, but to look up, to buy a house and to do all that, that is daring and admirable. So if you're watching this broadcast, know that I not only congratulate you, I celebrate you, and I admire those traits of both of you as a couple. And for those of you that are listening, viewing this broadcast, I encourage you to exercise self-gratitude, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day. Start admiring yourself. Enjoy being with yourself, liking who you are. We know you love yourself. At least that's what I assume. You have self-love. But not too many people like themselves. And sometimes we can submit to a lot of self-criticism. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way how much I weigh. I don't like the way you find so many faults with yourself. And, if you need to correct things or not correct things or change things in your life, I mean, whatever it is you want to change, feel free to change it. And if you can't, then whatever enhancement you can get, then do that. If you need to change your wardrobe, or if you want to, do cosmetic surgery or whatever, or Botox, or lift it here, or you know, augment it here, or whatever, feel free to do that. Whatever is going to make you feel your best, feel free to do that. Like it's nobody's business. You don't have to give an account to anyone. You just do it and feel good about yourself and admire the courage that you've had to do those things. If you need to get a new wardrobe, then you just plan for it. And you go out, and if you want to change your style, if you want to kick it up a notch, if you want to be a little more, whatever, more endearing, more conservative, whatever floats your boat, you do that. What I'm saying is that you've got to keep your cup full. You've got to keep your cup full, because that is where lies your self-worth. And when your cup is full, then you will really be able to navigate through life confidently. Why? Your cup is full. You see a situation and you can, offer something positive to it, then you can do that. You can offer a compliment. You can, offer help and encouragement, sympathy, empathy, compassion, whatever. Your cup is full. If you don't have compassion or sympathy for yourself, you can't have it for someone else. Some people live ridden with guilt and blame and shame and condemnation. They feel bad for something they may have done, or thoughts they entertain, or habits they have, and they can't get rid of those habits. And so they live with blame and shame and all of that. Well, if you have all of that, it's hard for you. If you have blame and shame for things, habits you may be engaged in, you look at someone and you will think the same of them. That's why people that criticize, we say when you are critical of something or have something bad to say, you are projecting who you are. You're projecting who you are, because that's what's in your cup. But if your cup is, filled up with, courage and boldness and gratitude and confidence and assertiveness and being positive and having a great outlook on life, then that's what you will project. If you're negative and pessimistic, that's what you will project. If you're always thinking, you see a little mold, you start thinking, oh, it's a fatal disease, whatever, and you start worrying and fear kicks in and so forth, you will project that. And then that's exactly what you will attract. That's how it works. So it's your cup, my friend. It is your cup. Keep your cup full of self-gratitude. Be mindfully aware, consciously aware of your self-worth. And everything that you do, make sure that it's intentional. Remain laser focused on everything that you do. And you will see that you will have a more meaningful and fulfilled life. That is my share with you for the Thanksgiving. And I encourage you, just, depending on your setting, you know your folks, your circle. But if you can offer that about self-gratitude, the whole concept of self-gratitude, sometimes it's not, sometimes it could be difficult to understand because we're not used to that. And they may start with, and I'm glad that I have a good thing and that, I have a good husband, I have a good family, no, but this is about oneself. And the mind is just not uh, set that way. Our mindset is not set that way. It's just always set to deflect from the self. You don't want to talk about the self because society or culture have trained us that that is hinging upon pride and arrogance. So this is a new mindset, self-gratitude. It's not pride and arrogance. No, it's not only uh, knowing your worth, but being able to voice it to fill your cup so that you can overflow and have enough to celebrate other people in whatever areas they need it. And with that, my friends, amigos, I'm going to say ta-ta. We will be enjoying Thanksgiving dinner on the 23rd, 23rd. And we'll be glad to share that experience with you when we're back in my next broadcast. In the meantime, go to my website, thecynthialinoxshow.com. Remember, I am also a life coach, and my coaching has to do with not just coaching, but I'm a transformational life coach, because what's important to me is to see a life transform. And you can only transform when your mindset has changed, when your mindset is changed from the traditional, conventional, culturally conditioned program mind to a mind that is renewed. And then you become a brand new person with more confidence and assertiveness to navigate through this life, attracting prosperity and abundance to your life like it's nobody's business. So if you would like to chat with me, go to my webpage, thecynthialinoxshow.com, and scroll to the bottom and just shoot me an email. I will get it. I will chat with you, or we'll see where we go from there. But the whole thing is to transform your life, not just to, because when I take you on as a client is I have to see results, because that's my achievement. I have to see results. That would be the whole idea for you and for me. So again, the CynthiaLinoxShow.com, and you'll find all the way in the bottom a little box there where you can shoot me an email and I will respond to you. If you're not able to view this broadcast when it's aired Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time, you can pick it up 24/7. See the little icons over here on the right? Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. So again, you can pick it up 24/7 and be encouraged by it. In the meantime, I'm going to say adios, amigos. Tata. See you next week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Take away all the limits. Thanksgiving, I just eat whatever I want. My favorite pie is pecan pie. That's my favorite pie. Over pumpkin or what's the other, sweet potato pie? No, I don't. I can do without the cranberry. I can do without, the sweet potato and the pumpkin pies. And I can do without the turkey. I prefer ham. But so I'm going to make sure that I enjoy pecan pie and also ham or whatever meat there is. I could do a lobster, but anyway, that's just me. In the meantime, I'll see you next week. Ta-ta, au revoir. Hasta luego. Adios, amigos. We will see you again. So, ciao.